guys, what's up? It's Katie and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video, and today we're going to be going over a quick comic book history of Man-Thing and seeing how his comic book lore ties in with how we know him in the MCOC game. Now, Ted Sallis is who we all know as Man-Thing, and he became Man-Thing by trying to recreate the super soldier serum that created Captain America, However, he was betrayed by his lover, Ellen Brandt, and had to flee from AIM agents who were seeking the formula for their own diabolical reasons. Now, he injected himself with the formula, crashed into a swamp, and drowned. However, through a combination of the super soldier serum and magical forces in the swamp, he changed into Man-Thing. Now, he has come into contact with a lot of characters throughout his comic book history, including Molecule Man and The Thing. So Molecule Man offered to transform The Thing and Man-Thing back to their original human forms, but in the process he kind of betrayed them a little bit and Man-Thing and The Thing knocked Molecule Man, wand out of his hand and defeated him, since that was the source of his power, but in doing so it transformed them back to their quote-unquote monstrous selves. Now, Man-Thing has also teamed up with Doctor Strange, Howard the Duck, Devil Slayer, and Namor in an effort to defeat Mr. Terminus, who hatched a plot to destroy the Nexus of All Realities. Now, the Nexus of All Realities is key to how Man-Thing can teleport to places, which comes into play when he teams up with the Thunderbolts, because Hank Pym realized that Man-Thing could teleport and thought it would be a good way to for the team in order to for the team to be able to transport places quickly. So after teaming up with the Thunderbolts, they fought a variety of foes, including the Fixers, Trolls, and mutated monsters. Now, following battles with them, they returned to New York City, where they had to fight the Hand, which was kind of like a side mission along with Luke Cage. So, but unfortunately, during this battle with the Hand, Man-Thing becomes dismembered. However, he can regenerate, so his head is picked up and he is brought back, and he regenerates. After following the battle with the Hand, Crossbones is replaced with King Hyperion, and Hyperion and Man-Thing, they don't get along very well. Hyperion doesn't really like Man-Thing and even calls him a snot pile. So, and then Hyperion also blasts him with his laser eyes, which is just rude. I mean, come on, Hyperion. Really, dude? Later, Man-Thing teleports the team to Germany, where they are attacked by Garen Gothenwald's demonic forces, but they are then called back to the Raft on an emergency mission because the Raft has been destroyed by the Serpent's Hammer, and the Serpent's Hammer has possessed the Juggernaut. Now, following these events, everyone kind of starts going crazy, and there's a lot of fear going on. This kind of leads up to the Fear Itself storyline, in which Howard the Duck recruits She-Hulk, Nighthawk, and Frankenstein's monster. Now, he does this because since everyone is going crazy, Man-Thing, which we'll learn later, feeds off of human emotion. So all of this fear drives Man-Thing insane, and he starts just killing innocents. So, like I said, Howard the Duck recruits She-Hulk, She-Hulk, Frankenstein's monster, and Nighthawk in order to stop him. However, that plan kind of like backfires because Man-Thing uses the Nexus of All Realities to send all of the Fearsome Four to their biggest fears, which eventually they do overcome, and then Howard is able to talk Man-Thing into releasing his own fears, which ends his rampage. Now, Man-Thing, he's got some pretty cool abilities. He's practically indestructible, and as long as there's plant life, he can regenerate, which is awesome. He's got super strength. He can teleport through different regions of the world using the Nexus of All Realities, and the thing with that is using the Nexus of All Realities as like fear and as humans' emotions, the negative human emotions grow, so do Man-Thing's powers. So we need to keep that in mind. Man-Thing can also breathe underwater. He can ooze past objects. So even if he doesn't have to break it because he's super strong, he can just be like, boop, I'm gonna go through these bars. And like I said, he can detect emotions. So positive emotions make him feel calm and reserved, but negative emotions make him go crazy and they can actually hurt him. Now, Man-Thing also secretes an ooze that can burn almost anything, including Luke Cage's skin. So now also in response to this, he kind of has like an anti-ooze to this burning ooze. So it's kind of like he burns you and then he puts some Neosporin on it. But he's got some really cool abilities. Let's see if the MCOC version is similar to the comic book version. There we go. So Man-Thing, he's got some interesting things going on. He can nullify. He has a chance to nullify each time it makes contact, and on its special 2, converts buffs. It nullifies into toxic pustules, which can nullify to cause poison and armor break. He's got sustain. He has one of the largest base health pools in the game. He's got certain immunities, blah, blah, blah. So let's look at his abilities, right? That's really what we want to look at. So, made of mush. Man-Thing is made of swamp mush and lacks any meaningful weak points to exploit. This makes it immune to armor break or shatter effects and prevents critical hits from dealing bonus damage. Man-Thing lack of blood also makes it immune to bleed effects. Okay? Empathetic agitation. Man-Thing reacts to powerful emotions, gaining a +5 agitation when struck by any attack, and when hitting a buffed opponent with a medium attack up to a maximum of 100. As Man-Thing's agitation grows, so does its attack, gaining up to 882.4 attack based on agitation. Agitation falls off over time, falling off faster the longer it's been since it's increased. If the opponent is marked as a villain or has an active buff, Man-Thing will wait 5 seconds after each increase before agitation begins to fall off. So this, I guess him fighting and being struck is kind of like, you know, him gaining his base attack would be him feeding off of the fear. As the negative emotions grow, so does Man-Thing. Acidic secretions. Each time Man-Thing makes contact, it has up to a 15% chance based on its current agitation to nullify a buff on the opponent. Okay, toxic pustules. Any buff other than a toxic pustule nullified on the opponent has a 100% chance to become a toxic pustule, lasting for 15 seconds whenever a toxic pustule buff is nullified. It has a 100% chance to burst, becoming a poison debuff and an armor break debuff. The poison debuff does 1020.28 damage over 15 seconds and reduces regeneration effect by 30%. So he's got some heal block on him. The armor break debuff reduces armor by 222.22 and lasts for 15 seconds. So this would be like that toxic ooze that he secretes, which, you know, that's kind of nice tying that in. All right, well, heavy attack charging, 100% chance to gain an unstoppable buff for 1 second, cooldown 5 seconds, so he can go unstoppable. Heavy attacks passive, 100 chance to nullify each toxic pustule buff on the opponent. Armor break and poison debuffs caused by bursting toxic pustules with this ability have 50% increased potency. So you want to get those buffs, or excuse me, debuffs on the opponent and then launch your heavy. Special attack. When activating a special attack, Man-Thing has a 100% chance to place a toxic pustule buff on the opponent lasting 15 seconds. So regardless of the special attack, you're going to get a toxic pustule on you. So special attack 1, armed and dangerous. Man-Thing uses a part of himself as a weapon, splattering its opponent with caustic slime. That's right, he throws his arm at you. Gross. 100% chance on contact to place a toxic pustule buff on the opponent lasting 15 seconds. You can place a total of 3 toxic pustules, assuming both hits make contact, of course. Okay. Special attack 2, toxic burst. Man-Thing unleashes blasts of toxic swamp sludge, slamming its opponents away. 100% chance to nullify up to 2 buffs per hit. There are 3 hits in this special attack, so a total of 6 nullifies are possible. This special will also nullify toxic pustules, so it's very possible to nullify, for example, 3 fury buffs straight into 3 poisons and 3 armor breaks. Special attack 3, Evil's Bane. Man-Thing reacts to the aggression in its opponent's heart, attempting to burn it away before striking them down. 100% chance to grant a fury buff, increasing attack by up to 882.4 based on agitation for 30 seconds. 100% chance to place a poison debuff on the opponent, causing up to 1626.93 damage based on agitation over 20 seconds and reducing all regeneration by 30%. 100% chance to place 2 toxic pustule buffs on the opponent lasting 15 seconds. So now the signature ability. So does he need to be awakened? Man-Thing draws power from the swamp around it, empowering its strikes or healing its wounds. Special attacks: if Man-Thing is at or above 50% health, it has a 100% chance to trigger a fury buff, increasing its attack by 275.75 for 10 seconds. If Man-Thing is below 50% health, it has a 100% chance to trigger a regen buff, regaining 790.6 health over 10 seconds. So I would definitely say yes, he needs to be awakened. It seems like Kabam could have done more with the comic book lore with this. I feel like he should be poison immune. I know he's bleed immune, but he should be poison immune. I feel like maybe his regen should be a little bit better. He's supposed to be super strong. Maybe adding more furies. I don't know. But they did tie in pretty good with his abilities and how his abilities are in the comics. I understand it's hard to, do teleportation, but I feel like they could have added an evade in there for teleport for the Nexus of all realities. Maybe make that a buff on him. I think that would have been kind of cool to help tie it in, since that is so focused with the comic book lore, on him teleporting with the Thunderbolts. All right, synergies. Fearsome 4 with Howard the Duck and She-Hulk. Great, we just talked about this. So Man-Thing, if struck by a basic attack while under the effect of an unstoppable buff, 100% chance to gain an indestructible buff lasting for 0.5 seconds. That's very cool. Howard the Duck, when the opponent has an ISO loader effect, Howard Special 2 gains plus 50% ability accuracy. She-Hulk, striking a stunned opponent with a heavy attack, grants a fury buff, increasing attack by 100% of her base attack for 1 second. So that's going to add more furies to She-Hulk. We love doing the heavies with the She-Hulk, putting that slow debuff on to stop unstoppable champs. So I do like that synergy with She-Hulk, and even with Howard, that makes him a little better. Bane of Evil with Ghost Rider. Agitation starts at and will never fall below 50 versus those tagged as a villain. Ghost Rider, each judgment active on the opponent increases the ability accuracy of other judgments by 25%. So that kind of adds with it. If you don't have Blade, you can then definitely add in Man-Thing here. All right, and the synergy with the Thing. Things. Man-Thing, well-timed blocks grant a fury buff, increasing its attack by 25% of its base attack for 1.5 seconds. This fury does not stack, and Thing's rock stacks lasts indefinitely up to 20. So this is going to be really a good synergy for the Thing. So if you have the Thing and you play the Thing offensively, this is definitely a way to go. Misunderstood Monsters with King Groot. Man-Thing, well-timed blocks inflict a poison debuff, dealing 25% of its attack as damage over 5 seconds and reducing regeneration effects by 30%. King Groot, start the fight with 2 additional furies and gain 2 additional furies when exiting his cooldown state. So it's going to make King Groot hit a little harder, and Lord knows he needs to do that. I really wish they would have added a synergy in with Luke Cage. Luke Cage is a big part of the comic book lore with the Thunderbolts, so having a synergy with Luke Cage would have been awesome. I'm kind of disappointed in that. But overall, I think Kabam did a very good job in tying in the comic book lore with how Man-Thing is in the comic book lore with the game. I really enjoy that. But that's all that I got, guys. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of Man-Thing? Did I miss anything with the comics? With the comics. Let me know in the comments below. Will you be grinding for Man-Thing? Or will you be opening up a bunch of crystals? Are you kind of disappointed in how he is? Or do you think he could have been a little bit more powerful? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you guys liked what you saw and you want to see more, please remember to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and hit me up in the Discord chat. Thanks, guys. Bye.